Reality on the ground, real people, real issues with me, Andrew Chamagero. Omuntua Wansi. Like we said earlier on, the rain could have, distorted our guest is kind of appearing on time, but we're talking about the director's apprenticeship. And it is something to empower the Ugandan directors, usually the ones from Ethiopia, Tanzania, Kenya, and Eritrea, even South Africa, to make sure that we break into the market. Maybe if I could tap into Mala's thinking. Mala, do you think this is a way to go with regards to the film industry in the country, now that actually you can compare the ones in Kenya and the ones here?
I truly think so. This is the way to go because, number one, the industry in East Africa, let's just call it that, has been struggling for quite some time now. Now, if you want to get into that space, the first thing, you're already grappling with financial issues because production of film is quite expensive. Now, me and you know, we've been interacting with these filmmakers in the industry for quite a long time now. We had this discussion a few weeks back, and the main issue they were bringing to the fore is the lack of adequate financing, and that actually has a direct effect on the quality of the production. And so that, number one, needs to be looked into, and the only way they can get financing for film production is to gang up like they're planning to do. So that's a great direction they're taking right there. Just the other day, let me relate that to the farmers. We were having the discussion with someone from the the Farmers Federation, and he was saying,
We Farm.
Yes, We Farm. He was saying that if you're just one farmer, it will be hard to get financing. But if you gang up with a group of farmers who have the same goals that they want to achieve, the same agenda, then it will be easy for you to even, get financing. Yesterday, Flavia was having a discussion with someone who was, giving us insight on how to make yourself attractive for an investor. And so that is key. And I'm hoping that this time round, once the filmmakers, gang up, they will get that right. How can they make themselves more enticing to the, investors in that particular space, just for them to get financing? Because I think it's just a financial issue. If that is sorted out, we'll stop having funny productions in the region.
For me, where I stand, even if they are given enough money, even if they are given enough facilities with regards to what they need to execute and have the stories written and all that, I strongly come from a point of view that we need to tell our own stories. If we get away from the stories of, we want to look like Hollywood, we want to look like Bollywood, I think this is where it all starts. This is where we all get messy. Because I can't get related to a story I don't know. Like, I can't get involved with a story I don't know. But if you tell me Chintu was a king in you get what I'm saying? So if we can have our own African stories written by our own writers, and these guys can direct, I think that we can actually have, a good penetration into the market.
I totally agree with you. So that is key, because that's the only way we can differentiate ourselves from the rest of the, universe. Remember Wakanda. Wakanda did so well because it was so authentic. It was rich with the African culture. And that is what we need to realize as filmmakers in this particular industry, that we as Africans, we have so much to tell. We have so much richness. And that's what we need to sell to the world. Let's not try and ape, the Westerners and do what they do and how they do them and tell their stories. Let's stick to our stories and leverage on that particular strength. So that is key. The other thing, Andrew, that I feel that will, make this particular, apprenticeship, a success is for them to look out for the need to also train, not just the directors, not just the directors, not just the script writers, but also the actors. The actors are very key, but also I know the backbone of any production, film production, is the director, because the director is the one who will oversee, the camera work. He'll oversee the, the sites, the stages, the areas where this, production is shot from. He will oversee every single detail of that particular production. So if we cannot afford to train every single person in a production, let's focus on the director.
I strongly believe if we have the actors equally trained as well as the actors and the actresses, then the other thing is payments. You see, Mala, however much some people are trained and they're well and they're equipped with skills and knowledge on how, if the payment is low,
Yes.
the delivery is equally going to be affected. The final product will be affected. Then we, the Ugandans, we, the consumers, we need to be considered. Do you know we don't have a clear distribution line of our movies? You just go to Mutasa Plaza, you just go to Chizito Towers, you go to Muto Complex in Masaka, and you just get a Achina Uganda.
Yes.
And even the way we label, the names we give, the titles we give our movies, I think that's what limits, because most people, when they're acting, their movies stop here. Kampala, Uganda, Buganda. Apart from one that I've seen, that is Live Your Dream, that is actually running on NTV, where they had to go all the way to Busoga, to Karamoja. They were stretching the storylines. I think if you can have a clear distribution line, if you have clear writers, if you have clear directors, and people who can actually add value to this, we can have a better conversation.
Yeah, that's totally key. You mentioned about the titling of this particular, films, and that is very important because it comes hand in hand with, for example, if you're a brand, you see companies, putting in so much money into researching the name of the brand and what they will call themselves, the trade name. So that is very important for, filmmakers to put that into perspective. How do you title your production? So I'll be looking forward to that conversation. I know you already have someone on ground right now. I'll be looking forward to that conversation.
Yes, he's one of the directors who have been trained.
Exactly. Let's see what he will have to say with regards
morning,
to the apprenticeship. Thank you, Andrew.
Good.
You know?
Mwanja Alan Samuel.
Mwanja Alan Samuel. You come from around Kampala, right?
Yep.
Tell me about the Director's Apprentice.
The Director's Apprentice is a program by Silent Voices Uganda to equip those that have gotten the theory from school. Yep. Basically, you go and study drama, as we know our education system, where we have a number of theory. You're doing a practical course, but basically you're doing more theory than practical. For example, now the drama and film department does a lot of that. But the apprentice program comes through when people have now gotten the direction of, I want to be a director. And after getting that direction, it gives you the platform to practice that with professional artists, with a professional setting, with professional everything, and a mentor that has the mentor that is professional.
The mentor that is professional.
Yeah.
For the time you've actually been a part of the program, what key things have you learned and before you didn't actually even pay attention to them?
As a director, there is only one question that you will be able to answer. That is the question of why. Why are you doing a certain thing on each and everything that you put on stage? Be it lighting, be it costume, be it hairstyle, be it everything. So I didn't pay attention. I didn't pay much attention before that you need to pay attention to why are you doing a certain thing. And after getting to know that you're supposed to have a reason for everything that you do, then you will be a good director. Two, the world is not a calm place or a comfortable place or a soft place to be in. So as a director, you need to bring on your A game to have something out and that you will be able to pass on. Yes, the other thing is you need, as a director, to have a voice.
You need to have a voice.
Yes.
Absolutely. What does that mean?
That means on everything that happens and everything that you to put on stage, for example, a script is a blueprint.
Yes.
And I direct it and give it my own voice. As a director, for example, if you would be a director, then you would give it your own voice. Yes. There's certain texts that we take on certain things. Yes.
You make decisions that are critical.
Yeah.
All right. I understand this is where we're heading. Now, you as a Ugandan director who has actually been a part of this program and you've learned a lot about it, where do you think are we lacking as Uganda, as an arts industry that is actually looking into film and drama production?
The only thing I think we're lacking is we're taking it as wake up and do. Instead of doing the studying, because me, I take this as police training or you, yes,
Masindi.
yes, Masindi. We need to have the training, and we need to take this business so seriously that we need to wake up. look for the money, look for the training, get the information, read, train, so that at least by the time you come up with a product, it's really up to the standards. Until we need to set our mindset to the global standards.
How do you set your mind to the global standards when you, the directors, have not taken time to travel just for studying purposes, just to get exposed? People in Uganda, they're not so much into the travel spheres. Most of the movies we see, they are in, you call it budget casting area? Like there is a way when you play with the colors that this was done in Midiango, then in Manju. And how are we going to get there when the director's mindset is not ready to travel beyond the comfortable zone?
Well, that might involve money. But Silent Voices has given us that chance. She, the trainer, traveled, studied, and she's coming to give us the experience of that world. So we need only to get to look out for such opportunities, get into them, understand how those worlds work by those people that have been there bringing the information down here. And also those that have the opportunity to travel should also work out a way of giving this apprenticeship to other people that are not able to travel. And once we have that, I think we can, later when the money comes, you travel.
Do you think this was one of the reasons that was hampering Uganda's movies to penetrate?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
The directors were not ready.
Yeah, the directors are not ready. The directors are not giving us... Okay, they're giving us what they have, but what they have is not what is needed or is not enough. Yes.
Let's talk about time management with the movie casts and all that. Today trained and couple of you have to be like 5 of you here with me. Do you think even our culture with regards to time management, resourceful management could be affecting the way the directors are directing our own stories?
Oh yes, time is a big player in this because you don't have so much time to do so much. Yeah. So I think time is another thing that is affecting our arts industry that we need to work on. Yeah.
You need to work on it.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the storylines. Most storylines are in Buganda here. What is the problem? Can't we stretch the storylines to go as far as Karamoja? We can go as far as Busoga. Can we go to Toro? Why do we have the most movies centered in the center here? Can we... You say directors are getting exposed.
Yeah.
How can they get exposed when they can't cover a story in Kabad?
That one is hard for me.
It is.
But one thing I think the business is here.
What do you mean the business is here?
We make these movies, we make these theater productions from money. And two, the other thing is, it is about the stories that we wish to tell as directors. And who is buying that story? Because sometimes if the money thing comes into play, it will be hard for me to tell a story from Busoga, a story from Masindi, because I am not going to get my money out.
So you're looking at the money, you're not looking at making the story get known, you're not looking at telling our stories. You directors are looking at the money?
No. Now that comes through when you get the money, you'll be able to tell the story, because it will be very painful, one, it will be very expensive, three, it will need a lot of research. Because as most of the people that have grown up here, I'll just walk to you and ask you a question, and then I'll get exactly what story I need to tell through the script that I've been given. But me going to Masindi, researching and doing all that research, then I'll need the cast to be taken there. It will be a lot of investment, which I do not have.
So what do you think? We need Ugandan investors to start to look at our creative arts and acting and film and all that into another avenue to invest in?
Oh yes. Oh yes, because I believe art is the other avenue that is telling very many stories, and we should invest. If investors are investing in other things, they should give us a platform.
So how do we attract them to invest in this industry?
Yes. We, as directors, this is a call to the directors. Let's pull up our socks and start producing quality stuff. Let's not care so. Let's look for the money elsewhere. Then put into the product. Then market. Because I believe that is the only other part that is not working out. If I have a very good product, I need to move with it to the people that have the money.
Absolutely.
I believe most of the people that have good products are seated on them, or when they go out to market them, they sit on them, like they give up somewhere, somehow. So we need just to fight very hard, make short or good, nice stuff, take them to the investors, the companies that need them. Let's just keep pushing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there you have it. That's the conversation. It is the director's apprenticeship that has been running for 3 years. Ethiopia, Kenya, Eritrea, South Africa, and so much more. Now they're in Uganda. That's the conversation we're having here. The directors are trying to get trained, and we see how best our Ugandan movies can penetrate into international market.